What's up, YouTube? It's Fuzzy Motion, and today we're going to be talking about just random stuff. It's like story time with Uncle Robbie. So come on, sit on my lap, and let's have ourselves a nice little conversation. Anywho, what's been happening the past couple of days? Well, I've been spending a lot of time in the local hospital. Not because I've been sick, but because, I've had some family members that have been ill, and needed to go down there and show my support, as I am the older sibling, and, just kind of just trying to show face and trying to show that, I can be there and I can be helpful. Anywho, what you're watching right now is you're just watching some ground war gameplay. It's really weird because there's a lot of different playlists that are open on Xbox One. This is an Xbox One gameplay, but not too many people playing them. You look, Domination has about 2,000 people if they're lucky. TDM probably has the most. But then everything else is just kind of sprinkled around. You got like 500 to 600 in every other playlist, including free-for-all, which is kind of upsetting because every time I try to get into a free-for-all lobby, at least on Xbox One, only about 500 people to pick from, and that results in some smaller lobbies. You know, we get gameplays where there's only 4 of us, and that's kind of bullshit, especially when you talk about some of the bigger maps. That doesn't work out too well. So anywho, been at the hospital quite a few days, just trying to make sense of what doctors say and whatnot. And it's funny when someone's in the hospital because everybody thinks, for some reason, that they, since they have like a personal experience that kind of speaks to what the situation is, or maybe it's because they, share a blood type with the person who's sick, or maybe it's just because, the person who's sick's a female and, somebody else is a female as well, that they're automatically, a doctor or an expert in the field. Let me just break something down for you guys, just so you are all aware. I personally, the only experience I have is, first aid and CPR. Outside of that, please do not expect me to speak to any sort of knowledge or expertise in a field. I'll always buffer everything I say with, well, this is my personal opinion, but in my humblest opinions, here's what I see happening. Main reason is because I haven't spent over $100,000 at a medical school learning all the ins and outs of the body, nor have I specialized in becoming an expert in any of the hundreds of different fields in medicine that one could specialize in. You talk about all the different body parts, all the different organs and organ systems in a human body, the different combinations and permutations of which are just staggering. Same thing with law, same thing with, a lot of professional jobs and careers out there. I'm not a lawyer, so please don't ask me for legal advice, that sort of thing. And I just find it funny that because, somebody's in a hospital, somebody's sick, or if somebody's had the same sort of ailment or whatever, they kind of speak to it as if they have some sort of, authority in the situation. I'm sitting in a hospital and somebody's asking me questions. Well, it could be this. Well, it could be, we'll ask her what her symptoms are. Well, okay, well, what are your symptoms? And then I give, the symptoms, relay them. Oh, well, it could be this. It could be this. Really? You know that? You know that for certain? You giving a diagnosis right now? Because last I checked, the doctor was the one that gives the diagnosis, and they didn't give that diagnosis. Well, check again because it could be this, it could be that. Well, okay, fine, I'll check again, but, doctor's the one with the authority here. And just so you guys know, the thing that makes a doctor in America, if you're watching from around the country, around the world, the thing that makes a doctor in America are 2 things, at least in my opinion. Medical school and insurance. Medical school and insurance are what make a doctor in America. If you have medical school training, obviously that puts you in the running to become a doctor. But the other thing is you have insurance, because should you fuck up, at least now we have a way to make ourselves, financially or medically whole to pay for the treatment, to pay for some of the losses, the damages, and things like that. It's a shitty thing to think about, but I mean that's kind of what has to happen. And that was weird because that guy running across, he pulled my cursor away, and I got some auto aim there. That's why I fucked that shot up. But anyway, so even if you're dealing with an incompetent doctor, at least you have solace in the fact knowing if they make a mistake, you'll be made whole. Now, that's not a lot of solace depending on what the situation is, because the mistakes could carry very great consequences, such to the point where no amount of money could make you whole again. But at least, there is that option. Somebody who doesn't have that sort of insurance or, medical background or anything like that, they really don't have anything to ride on. So it's just kind of like, well, you could be right, and that would be cool for you. You get bragging rights. But if you're wrong, then it's like, everybody loses. So, I appreciate you putting your 2 cents in, but at the same time, let's let the professionals deal with what they got to deal with here. That's at least how I feel about it. I always feel like somebody Everybody and their mother is a medical expert when somebody's in the hospital. Well, it could be this. Well, it could be this. Let the doctors talk it out. You know, if you want to find information, talk to the doctor. But other than that, don't be that person that just starts giving diagnoses willy-nilly. The other thing that was kind of interesting that happened in the last couple of days, you know, I told you guys I've been doing stand-up comedy. I've been doing that, talking to some promoters, and everything's been going really well. A promoter approached me and told me they liked one of my jokes. But the thing that was kind of weird that the promoter did, and, you know, I caught on to it very quickly because, again, not stupid, they asked me for specifics about a joke that I wrote, and they said that somebody else heard it because they saw a recording of me, and they liked it, and they wanted to use it. I was like, huh, oh, you want to use my joke? So my immediate response was, okay, well, what are my royalties on that? And as soon as I said that, that guy backed down immediately. He was like, oh, I was just kidding. That dude left. You know, he just thought the joke was cool. I was like, oh, well, if he thinks it's good, maybe he'll like the rest of my act when he comes to see it or whatever. You know, a lot of shady people out in the world, and don't ever get caught up by that. If you're doing something, it's not a shitty thing. It's not a selfish thing to ask for some compensation, especially when you're talking about entertainment or anything like that in return for your efforts. So there's the gameplay. I go 23-9 with 5 assists. This is Ground War. I know normally you see like much better scores on Ground War. I was just kind of getting the gameplay because honestly I didn't know where the hell the people were playing on Xbox One. Getting a little excited about Advanced Warfare, guys. The more I see about these guns, man, it's looking really good. If you like the video, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. You know what the deal is. YouTube, we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.